And oi, oi, it's your boy from across the pond, UK's finest. It is Ricky J, welcoming you to bringing you the hottest intakes, bold predictions, and straight up. I'm falling. I took a bump. Hardest intakes, bold predictions, and straight up banner from across the bottom with it. Again, I'm taking a bump. Sorry, guys. Very sorry. Very unprofessional, I know. Right, that should be set now. From across the pond where the bell never stops ringing, welcome to the People's Wrestling Podcast. Now on Fridays, I did right, moving to Fridays. Going to be much easier for myself and the guy I'm going to bring on a second schedule. And doing it on a Friday or a Saturday, really, there's no difference. The only difference is we'll have SmackDown to talk about. We can obviously talk about the weeks before SmackDown, if that guy. So we'll talk about tonight's SmackDown next week, if that makes sense for you guys, for you people. So let me bring in the co-host of the most, the man himself. Here he is. He knows all about titles because he's the current reigning, defending WWE and AEW prediction champion, the man of gold. It is, of course, Sean Gold. Sorry for taking a bump there, but yes, how are you, Sean? How are you?
I'm a lot better than you. I mean, could you
two bumps.
It was like, he's like, I'm the man with the fuck. We're bringing the hardest hitting. Shit. Like, okay, so there's an indie. I mean, it's not really an indie wrestler, but it's a thing. It's a doll. I've seen it on YouTube. It's like somebody wrestles some fucking doll or whatever. You pretty much are just wrestling your phone and clearly losing, like clearly getting your ass kicked. Unreal.
Yes. I need a better setup.
Every time you do that, I look better.
Okay, wow.
Like, right? Because everybody's like, oh, he's fucking that up real bad. And then, like, I got on and it's very crisp and smooth. And it's like, damn, he's really good. And it's in reality, you just keep fucking up. It's kind of like my brother, 8.5 years younger than me, made every fucking mistake you could like think of in life, right? And it's not that I'm that much better. It's just that I look better because he fucks up. So like, I look like $1 million because you just keep screwing up. So that's perfect for me.
Because I'm wrestling by phone. Well, like I said, I need a better setup, but it's yeah, but I need a better setup. Let's just leave it at that, really. I'm planning to invest in a better setup and play maybe a green screen. And I've looked into a green screen, but
how about just something that doesn't fall? Right. Let's take baby steps, right?
Let's start with that first. So yeah, sorry guys about the taking a bump and losing. So let's kick off, as always, with the first segment, which, of course, is... So yes, what's cooking at the table? Not been up to much since Sunday. Going to the gym. I did make another bracelet at the craft class of the craft thing I go to. And that's pretty much it, really. It's only been a few days since Sunday, so yeah. So what have you been up to since the last time you were on? And did you and your children ever go to Halloween? And yeah.
Holy shit, man! Since the last time I was on, let me talk about it. Oh my god. Oh, okay. Last time I was on. Let's see here. So got my ass kicked by the Sandman. But then here's what's crazy about it all. So develop a match right? And nothing ever goes how you ever want it to go, or like how you envision it in life. You try to envision it the right way, but in reality, sometimes it doesn't. And yeah, the match was scripted to go a certain way, and how it was designed, and I would say within 6 or 7 minutes of it starting, and me happened to be on the outside and stuff like that, it did not, due to uh, nothing having to do with me. But I watched like again, kind of like a situation that didn't really pan right, and so I kind of audibled everything, and I was like, all right, like get certain things out of here. Da, da, da. I'm listening to the crowd because I spent the first, I would say, 3 or 4 minutes just making them hate me. Right, you got to make them hate me.
Right. You gotta make
And I did that.
And
Is there like a
so like a
go on your side?
go
'Cause
on your side.
weird on your side.
You're on your side.
Give me. Well, I'll come out back in again. There seems to be issues with this. Give me 1 second. I'll go out back in. 1 second to do that. Then.
I'll tell the crowd. I'll keep talking. So basically, what happened was, I we kind of listened to the crowd. We kind of shortened the match a little bit, right? We had to shorten the match a little bit, and so by shortening the match, I would say dropping the match down, I would say 4 or 5 minutes, right? We dropped the match down about 4 or 5 minutes. It enabled me to sit there and kind of listen to what the crowd wanted. And when the 1, 2, 3 happened, I'm laying in the ring after Sandman gets in the ring, and I was like, let me just jump in the ring with him, which was really cool at that moment because you hear it. So like you kind of tell everybody to play the music, and I'm on the kind of the apron. And I sit there and I hear the music, enter Sandman, and I jump in the ring, and it's just me at that moment in the ring. Sandman walking in, and I'm bouncing in the ring, like ready to be like, I'm like, let's fucking go, right? 500 people there, right? Let's go, right? And the two guys who are, my partners are in the ring, and I'm like looking, I'm like, this man's entering in a sweatshirt, and I'm like, I'm gonna go attack him. And I go attack him. He hits me with a kendo stick in the stomach, hits me with a kendo stick in the back. I drop, so I'm kind of laying on the side of the ring post area, kind of watching what's going on, and I was like, kind of whispered, I was like, just shorten the match up, 2 or 3 minutes, so they shortened it up a little bit. But I'm trying to listen to the crowd, and the crowd's like, yeah, they're happy, but they're not really really getting where I need them to be. So 3 happens. I kind of crawl over to the guy who's in the group, and I was like, we're gonna do. He's like, what do you want to do? And I was like, we need something here, like something. He's like, what are you thinking? And I was like, I don't know, like turn on me. He's like, all right. He goes, I was like, hit me with a stunner. He goes, oh, I'm gonna hit you with a flying cutter. And I was like, don't you hit me with a flying cutter? I've never taken a flying cutter. And he goes, you'll be fine. And I was like, all right, fuck it, whatever, right? And I was like, he's like, get up. He's like, get in my face. I was like, all right. He's like, push me, and then I'll push you back, and then you try to clothesline me, I'll jump into the rope, flying cutter. And I was like, all right, great. So we kind of get up, kind of woozy, right after getting beat up, kind of listen to the crowd, and I kind of get in his face, give him a nice little push, pushes me back. Then he's starting to turn face, right? He's starting to turn face. The crowd starts chanting, dream. Like, all right, we got him going. I try to get the clothesline, boom, cutter, crowd goes nuts. I'm like, all right, great. So I'm laying on the ground, and I'm like, all right, like this is what we wanted. And the other guy that was with them, they're talking, and I'm listening. I'm on the ground, I'm listening, and they like hug each other. And in my mind, I'm like, oh fuck. And so he picks me up, and he whispers, he goes, I love you. I was like, uh-huh. And he goes, choke slam. And I go, fuck. So I grab on and jump, and choke slams me, and everybody's like, again, they're loving it, right? I'm just laying face down in the ring. Everybody's loving it, they leave. I kind of get to my feet all woozy, and I'm like, did I win? And they're like, you suck. You suck. I roll out of the ring, I fall down, I start crawling. There was like a plastic title, and I grab it, and I'm like, I'm a champion. Everybody's like, you suck. And I was like, screw you guys, I'm moving to Robbinsville. And everybody, and so then I get in the back, and I'm kind of laughing with everybody, and I was like, I tried to make it like one of the wrestlers like apologized for having to shorten up, and I was like, no, it's fine. I was like, I called it in the ring, it's not a big deal. And then I put a sweatshirt on and a hoodie, and kind of like walked around and, you know, kind of hood up type thing. Like, so I to not, you know, kill the vibe, if you will. And, yeah, and it did that and it was crazy. And, you know, the crowd loved it. It was an insane show. Super. It was at a school. Zilla Fatu was the main event. With BG Wayne against main event, which was the former House of Glory tag team champions, and it got a little violent, a little too violent for not necessarily a little too violent for my liking, a little too violent for what I think a school should have. You know, it got, you know, I mean, they were throwing chairs at each other, jumping off of the stage. Zilla got cut from like east to west because he was supposed to put his hands up, like just blood everywhere, right? So I have the hood on still, but I'm clearing people out, right? And it just it was a little too ECW for a school. So, you know, we're gonna have to look at that just from an executive end of things and kind of go like, all right, like let's, you know, at schools we really shouldn't be doing that. You know, at other venues we should. So kind of, you know, that we kind of learn from that. And then kind of moving on from that, you know, I told you guys I'm engulfed in a giant storyline for Titan that is climaxing and at the next Saturday. You know, and so it's just a lot of work for that right now, like going on different podcasts, shooting different promos, doing different things that will further the storyline forward to give it the best chance of success to people, because that's all that really matters, right? Like, it's funny, my wife was like, who really, like, you know, like, it's not like WWE, it's not like moving the needle like that. And I said, yeah, but if, like, you know, 4 or 5 people want to see like what happens from this, then what I did made a lot of sense. So yeah, that's what I've been doing. I got my, you know, the kids loved, obviously, the kids loved Halloween, right? The kids loved Halloween. Obviously they always do get a ton of candy or whatever. And then this weekend, my son's birthday is the following week, but he has his karate party tomorrow. And so he's doing that. And yeah, it's what I've been up to.
So yeah, so you've been up to a lot. For those people that are watching now or later that want to go, I highly recommend go to Facebook. You know, I've watched the Sandman.
Yeah, it's on my Facebook. It's on my Instagram too. Like Facebook and my Instagram. It's, you know, it's interesting. I put it this way. No offense to Sandman. I've been hit way harder with a kendo stick. Way harder.
William was holding back. I don't know. I
told
wasn't
him
there.
not to. I was like, just like, I didn't want, like, one of the guys got hit in the head with the kendo stick. I wasn't about to do that life, right? Like, because, you know, that could go really wrong. Like really wrong. Like, you could catch an ed, like, it's really like a chair, right? You could go really wrong like that. And again, for my age, I can't do something that's going to enable me to not work the next day. So I have to be very choosy about how I do things.
But I highly recommend people go and check out the link right there on Facebook. Yep. I look at the Sandman moment. For those that watched them, fluff this line, McJugger Nuggets YouTube channel. Emily Saxton, that used to be on the show, that used to work for McJugger, is now wrestling in Titan. So go and check her out. And Sean was just discussing it. So that, yeah, there's his Instagram. So go and follow him on Insta. So yeah, go and do that.
Promo's dropping tonight at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. In a response to the heavyweight champion, Titans heavyweight champion, and the nonsense that he was spewing about our executives on yesterday on the Respect the Craft. And yes, it was yesterday and the day before on the Respect the Craft podcast. And we'll talk a little bit about that when we say what we're doing coming up. But you know, a promo is dropping. It's probably it's been cut, right? It's been cut a little bit. I don't know what it looks like, so I can't say it's my best. I will say the rough copy is phenomenal. right? Like I probably watched it like 12 times. I sent it to a bunch of people, but then like now I know like everybody pretty much has said the same thing, like how amazing it is, but it is long. It's like 7 minutes and 8 seconds. So I'll be eager to see what Titan does and kind of from a cutting perspective. And that drops at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight.
And I highly recommend, from what Sean told me, pre-production before we went live, told me a few bits of what the promo is. I'm not going to say anything. All I'm going to say is go and check it out. It sounds like a good one. So yeah, check it out.
For sure.
Did you say it's your son's birthday this weekend?
Yeah, his birthday's next week, but we're celebrating his birthday party. It's a karate party. This is Saturday, which is interesting because his next birthday, I already said this, I'm gearing it towards, like, I think it's probably just for me personally. We're going to do a wrestling party, and it's going to be at the house, and I'm going to get a ring. Like, a ring is going to be shipped to the house and built in the back. And I'll grab a few wrestlers, and we'll have a few matches. And I'll wrestle like a full match. Obviously I'll win this time because I never really win, ever. And so I'd like to maybe win that match, and do a couple things that I wouldn't normally do, right? Like flying off the top rope and actually maybe get some offensive moves in, so I'm not Spike Dudley or Mikey Whipwreck. Be good.
Your son's 5, 8.
Yeah, he's 5. He's 5. He's gonna be 6. Yeah.
I'm sure, has he seen you wrestle before or no?
Yeah, he has. He I had this conversation last night. I was on a podcast. It's Nettie's Tea Time. She's the main photographer for Titan, but she has a podcast now. And so I was on it, and we're talking a little bit about who Sean Gold is and all this kind of good stuff. And we started talking about like what made me get started in this, and kind of went through like the whole story and the whole kit and caboodle. I said, but when I look at it now, it's more along the lines of my kids were never to really see me play soccer professionally. Like, it was way before they were born, and they hear stories, but there's really no videos for the most part, right? There's a couple pictures here and there. And now doing this, it makes me to them larger than life, right? Because my son's seen me get my ass kicked a few times. I think he's used to it at this point. He's also seen me on the mic not getting my ass kicked. And what's really interesting is when I transitioned a little bit from just being on the mic to taking bumps, he's starting to change the wrestlers' names that he has, the 45 wrestlers he has, and he's adding Sean Gold in there, swapping out sometimes LA Knight or somebody like that to be me. And that to me is the coolest part of it all. I'm a firm believer in what I've said, and I really mean this, just like John Cena about like his last match being in December. Like, I'm a firm believer when I say this, and I say this to many people, if this all ended tomorrow, I would look back at the year and go, this was really cool. Like, this was really, really cool. So there's no aspirations like, yeah, would I love to be a heavyweight champion? Yeah, if I'm David Arquette.
Right?
Like,
we've got coming in for you. What's up, guys? Sean Gold is a man. TCW is great. See you next week at Mount Olympus. So thank you, Nick. Thank you, Nick, for the comments.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. It's gonna be Mount Olympus is gonna be absolutely insane. It's gonna be absolutely insanely crazy. And I think that from our perspective and from the Titans' perspective, it's gonna be fair. I think that with Billy, our CEO and president, being there, and me being lockstep with him side by side, we're gonna make sure that if Gangon wins, it's because he in reality is being selfish, right? Because ain't no more Titan then. There's no more Titan if Gangon wins. And so, but we're not going to cost him it either, right? Like, so it needs to be fair. The mystery opponent is the mystery opponent. And may the best man win. And we hope that it's the mystery opponent. It's not me. I will tell you, it's not me. As much as I want to wrestle Gangon for the stuff that he's done, he talks a lot about me putting my hands on Joey on October 11th, and I started the fight. That's why they laid me out. Right, I've been a reality gang going in Philly. Put his hands on me first. He didn't know me worth a damn. I walk in, and that first night he puts his hands on authority. Right, so this is just me returning the favor in that scenario. And as much as I want it to be me, I would love nothing more than to get into that ring with a chair, with something, and lay out that heavyweight champion, right? And put my foot on him, grab his leg, 1, 2, 3. Down, but then I'm a champion, right? I'm like a champion. Who am I gonna challenge? I'm gonna get destroyed by everybody else, right? Come on, right? Come on, right? So hopefully the person that we've chosen will try.
And thank you, Nick, for the comment. Highly appreciated. If you haven't already, make sure to like and subscribe. And if this concept, this kind of schedule works out, and Sean will be on every week. So yeah, you'll see him next week as well.
Sure.
But speaking of the man, you see, the man of gold, it is your segment, and I'll play this little tiny video.
Sure.
Well, you got 2 segments. So your first segment is. Let me find. And that video is coming your way now.
Movie talk, right? So I cannot wait to see this blasphemous nonsense of whatever you watched, because it's going to be hot garbage. So let's go with it. What did you see? Because I'll tell you what I did, right? So in the background right now, I got a little Narcos, right, from Netflix. So, right, I can't wait. Like Narcos, I've seen Narcos so many times right this season, but it's a great thing to put in the background when you're working. That's what I've seen, right? I haven't really seen that many movies lately. I haven't had time. I'm getting my ass kicked, right? Multiple different places. I'm eager to see what Ricky J decided to waste his mind with, time by which you cannot get back at all. It was go for it. I want to see.
So the first one, the Legend of Oche, how we pronounce it. Good film. Yeah, I see the look on your face.
That sounds like a Japanese dish. Like, what'd you have? I had oche.
William Dafoe's in it, and it's this little creature, and then people think the creature's bad, but it's not. I liked it. Second movie was, here you go.
Is that John Moxley with hair?
Cage Fighter starring John Moxley as John Moxley, just John Moxley in a movie. Christian, and then like a few other wrestlers, but Matt Hardy, Bully Ray, Tommy Dreamer, Santino's in it, but they're just themselves, and just a tiny cameo for them. But Christian and John Moxley are in it. I liked it because it was all about wrestling, but not the best otherwise. And the third movie, Black Phone 2, not as good as the first for those that have seen the first.
I'm trying to think. Ethan Hawke was in both, right?
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember the Black Phone original trailer that I know I imagined it when Black Phone came out. I didn't watch it, but I know when Black Phone did come out, I was like, oh shit. But I'm not a big like it's funny. We at Gremlin, we had somebody sponsor the event. It was like a podcaster, and they were talking about Invasion. In fact, I'm on their show in a few weeks. But one of the things we were talking about was scary movies, and I was like, or scary movie franchises, and I was like, I kind of jumped on, and I was like, look, I don't watch scary movies as much. I said, but I will tell you that I have listed real quick what I thought like the three best franchises were. Like, I think the Saw franchise is phenomenal. It's demented, right? So like, that's great, and I love the Nightmare on Elm Street. Just in the bit, just not the newer stuff that they created with Freddy,
Yeah.
but I like the premise behind the idea of, because anybody that's listening to this, right? We've all been asleep and have almost died in our dream, right? We've fallen off of a cliff, something that makes us shake, right? And so the idea and the premise behind Nightmare on Elm Street is the fact that he goes and kills you in your dreams, right? That's crazy, right? Like that's like a cool premise, right? And again, it's gotten a little dicey. And when it wasn't dicey, Friday the 13th franchise, before it got all nonsensical, to me, are the best franchises.
Yeah, we can't really think of any other horror franchises really, other than that. Yeah. Paranormal Activity, the first one was really good, but then
Ring. The Ring was the Ring. The Ring.
Yeah.
The videotape.
Yeah, but Paranormal Activity, the first one, very good film.
Individualized things that are like good too.
But then by the fourth movie, it was like,
right.
Yeah.
I'm not, and again, I'm probably in the minority, especially with wrestling fans. I am in the minority of the fact, like, I don't see a reason to go to the movie theater and get scared, and I also don't see a reason to go to the movie theater and cry. Right? Like, if I know that it's going to be a sad movie, probably as most part not going to watch it. Iron Claw was probably the exception to that. But I think action films, comedies, rom-coms, like, slapstick comedy type stuff, like, those are the kind of things that I like. And then I'm a huge fan of like the history type stuff. So like any kind of movies that like about history or even biopics, right? Like, if yesterday I think the Michael Jackson trailer was released, looked amazing. Oh yeah, you like Iron Claw?
Artistic wrestling. Sorry, I have to get it so close to the screen. Artistic Wrestling Federation.
Yeah.
Movie.
Yeah, I would imagine probably the Iron Claw we're talking about right now. Phenomenal movie.
For me, for a big wrestling fan, I thought the Iron Claw was just okay. For me,
what do you
personally,
mean it was okay? It's a true story.
But the Vonnery family way before my time, so I don't really have that connection. So
you know what was way before your time too?
What else?
Any of the good horror films? So like, right? Like what was before your time too? You know who was before your time too? Mr. T in The Ring. You know who was before your time too? Paul Orndorff in The Ring. Really, really.
Okay.
Like, come on. You know who's before your time too? The Good Style of Ric Flair.
Fair enough.
You know, also was before your time too? The Good Andre the Giant. you got Andre with the back pain on. You got Andre with back pain.
What was before my time when wrestling was good? Well, no. I'll take that back. Ruthless Aggression was good.
What was good? Talk about the promo.
No,
if you're speaking about the John Cena era, that Ruthless Aggression era, that was some of the worst statistical era of wrestling.
Way better than it is now. Now, we'll speed through it.
We'll get into that. We'll get into that in a bit.
We can do Raw, NXT, not NXT. NXT's go, but Raw, SmackDown in second.
We'll get into wrestling as a whole
because nothing happens on Raw or SmackDown. One match, one segment that that was okay, but as an overall 2-hour show, But no news and headlines this week, unless there's no news and headlines.
There is, but I'll cover it in a different way. There is something that dropped this week, but I want to cover it in a different way. So
I'll play a quick ad, and then it's another segment for the man himself. Let me play this ad. And Autistic Wrestling Federation, thank you for your comments. If you haven't already, like and subscribe, and keep the comments coming.
You guys continue to watch this, because I promise you, this next segment you're gonna love.
So let me play very quickly this ad, and then we're going to get into some other stuff. But let me play. Find it. There it is. That is right. For I'll say it again, 2 shout-outs every single video for a month, and to be inducted into the People's Wrestling Channel Hall of Fame. Simply go and get one of my t-shirts in the description below and let me know you've got one, and then there we are. So, I almost botched that as well. Moving on.
At least your phone didn't move. Come on.
Yeah, I'm trying to touch it very lightly so it doesn't move. So, the next segment is, of course, this one.
Get that movie talk out of there.
Let me find it. I think it's at the end. Somewhere, sorry. There, where is it? Yeah, there it is. Right.
All right. For those of you who don't know what this segment is, it was created by me, of course. And it's an ability to talk about something that you either didn't agree with, or at the same time you wanted to really bring up. And I'm actually going to split this up into two situations, because they're actually 2 entirely different situations, but both of which I think are important to understand. So, number 1, let's talk about this for a second. Number 1, the earnings call came out for the WWE, for TKO. And let's talk about the numbers. So UFC down 8%, WWE up 23%, since last year at this time. Down 23%, up 23%, down 12% since the year before, and that's because you have Mania and stuff like that, right? So obviously there's a huge amount of money. Ultimately up, right? But here's where it gets tricky. Earnings are up. Attendance is down.
Ratings are down. Ratings.
Well, we're going to talk about it. So let's talk about it. The idea behind the fact that TKO, who, let's be clear here, is just a governing body of ownership of a singular type company, right? A split off in the org chart, if you will. What do they see? Well, they see the earnings are up and business is good, right? Even Nick Khan came out and he said, I've heard your cries for the astronomical ticket prices, but in reality, we're going to stand pat. Let's talk about why we're going to stand pat. We're going to stand pat because attendance is down, but earnings are up. What does that say? Well, I'll tell you what it says. What it says is you're 2xing your ticket prices. And even if half of the people show up, you still break even and make money. Right? Because if you charge everybody $50 and there's 100 people, and you charge, and then you get rid of that and you charge everybody $100 and 50 show up, you're making the same amount of money that if it was 100. Same amount of money, right? The nonsense this, and the problem with it is it goes back to what we talked about weeks and weeks and weeks ago, which is Vince McMahon coming out and saying like he wanted to create family-friendly pricing, and TKO going, "You're stupid," right? Here's the problem: we are stupid. We are stupid, right? Because here's the thing: unless that quarterly earnings changes, they're never going to do anything about it. Ever. You will have more events in Saudi. You will have events in Japan. You will have events in Bangladesh. You will have events in Qatar. You will have events in South Africa. Not saying that South Africa shouldn't deserve it, because they do, right? You're going to have events everywhere, right? The dollar and everything from the home base will start to feel less and less important. You will have shows that start at 10. You have shows that start at 9. You will have, which is not that bad sometimes, especially from a football perspective, when you get a 9 a.m. football game, right? Because you can move about your day. You have constantly situations, and people like Sheboygan, Michigan won't get a show because there's no house shows anymore. You'll have those situations, and what will be done about it? Absolutely nothing. Corporate. They are going to be more and more and more and more and more corporate. That's just how it's going to be. Unless you change it, you will have $20,000 seats. And on that show, you'll have a $20,000 seat on. You'll have 5 matches. And you know what? Unless you don't watch, you ain't going to do anything about it. They're not going to do anything about it. Right? It's WrestlePalooza. Right? Got bad ratings on ESPN. Right? The people came out. They wrote about it. Right? Bad reviews. They got like a C, an F, whatever. Right? I don't know. Again, because I don't have the contract in front of me. But if you pay attention to anything in the news, you found out that the deal that came across for the ESPN Bet, which is actually owned by Penn, which is really just Barstool Sports, they had a 10-year deal that literally there was a get out clause anytime that people wanted, right? So they got out year 2. That was in the news. I don't know if WWE has that situation. If you want to take this seriously and affect change, you don't spend the $30 to watch the peep in the ESPN Ultimate app. But a lot of times, guys, I'm preaching to a deaf ear. I'm preaching to Helen Keller. Can't hear, can't see. Right? Like, because you're still going to watch. I will tell you that I watched the last PLE on ESPN. What was it? I don't remember what I don't even remember what it was.
Crown Jewel, I think.
Crown Jewel, right. Watch Crown Jewel, right? Watch Crown Jewel on my friend's stream, right? On his ESPN membership, right? He just moved. They don't have Verizon now. Guess what? If I can't get it, I'm not watching. I'm not spending the 30. Like, I don't care. And I love Survivor Series. I love War Games, right? But I can't consistently justify it, right? It gets expensive. And if you think it's expensive, if you guys think it's expensive to go to a WWE show, which used to be $100 for bring a family of 4, or $200, that's now $750, and you're getting nonsense in between, then don't go. My buddy bought 2 tickets to the Monday Night Raw at MSG to see Cena's last thing on the 17th, not this Monday, the following Monday, right? He sent me a thing. He goes, I bought 2 tickets in case any of you guys want to come. And I looked at the price and I was like, oh, $261? Like, yeah, so you want $130 from me? No problem. Like, they're really nosebleeds. No problem. He goes, no. I was like, what you mean? He goes, it's $261 a piece. And I said, if you think that I'm spending $261 to sit in section 405 of the Garden, you are out of your mind. And so I ask you guys that situation too. That's the only way if you really want to affect change, or don't. That's up to you, right? But it's not going to go away. Stop talking about the astronomical ticket prices because they still have people that go. They'll still be corporate sponsors. They'll still find a way to offset it unless you really want to affect change. That's number one. Number two. This week, officially, Ridge Holland was early released from his contract. Now, for those of you who don't know, I'm not a big fan of Ridge Holland's wrestling, but that's okay because I don't get in the ring, right? So, like, he whooped my ass, right? But to give you a background on him, to give you back on the situation, Ridge Holland's been injured. He got injured on the job, right? On the job, and then fired by TKO or WWE, but really TKO, while he was injured. And while they did that, they're supposed to pay for probably all of the surgeries, the injuries, the rehab, all of those things. And he kind of came out and on social media, he kind of was pretty much like, they left me hanging, while I'm injured. I can't make money right now. Like, it's not like I can go do an indie show and make, $500. I can't do any of those things, and so it's very tough. They see this and now they they early terminated his agreement, which, to be fair, wasn't a crazy agreement. He took a 55% pay cut. So when you see him on Evolve, Ricky, that's a 55% pay cut. Okay. That's a number, 55%. But he was released, I think, 9 days early. While that might not seem like a lot of money or a lot of days to some of you, 9 days early is almost 2 weeks worth of pay. That's a big deal, right? They don't care. But you know who cares? The wrestling world. So the wrestling world started a GoFundMe. It's been blasted all across social media with countless wrestlers giving some $1,000 a month, like set up to $1,000 here, $1,000 there, blah, 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 all the way to get to this goal of $60,000, which I guess he needs, right? He's not exactly asking for tons of money. It's $60,000 throughout the entire wrestling community. And my guess is he'll get it. But that's not what we're talking about here, or what I want to address on this. What I want to address on this is why it's happening in the first place. Why does a company that is up 23% in the earnings want to be put in a negative light out there, and they can afford it? Why? I ask everybody this. Why? Why don't you want to be the good guy in that scenario? You have an ability to be the good guy. I understand you want to release him and you can be the bad guy for that. That's business 101. That's okay. But it's no differently than all the people you go on LinkedIn and you see them being lost from their jobs. And when you have conversations with these people, they go, yeah, I was released from my job. I said, well, what, I'm sure you got some kind of severance. Oh yeah, it was 2 weeks in like the end of the year medical or the end of the month medical. And it's like, how really? In this market? And so in this market where this man can't earn a living right now because he can't do it, he can do some signings, but he really can't do much. This is what you want to do to this guy? And look, here's the deal. And all you guys can bring, well, this person back in the day did this. This person, WWE covered them for this. They covered them for rehab, like rehab. Jeff Hardy, rehab, rehab. They covered all those expenses for people. We're not talking about back then. We're talking about right now in the TKO era. This is what's happening. Shame on you for that. Like for that amount of money, shame on you. 55% pay cut. He took it. It wasn't like he was like, listen, Ridge, you're going to get a 55% pay cut. Oh, no, I'm gone. Screw you. No, he took the cut because he wanted to be there. Then you get rid of him, which is your own prerogative, of course. Can't even pay him the 9 days. Again, guys, if you want to affect change, these are the things you do to affect change. Those things are it's not right. You know, we do a very good job of putting Daniel Bryan in the main event of WrestleMania 30 and Cody Rhodes in the main event of WrestleMania 40. We use our voice for that, for creative. But creative, to be honest, guys, it's fictitious. This is real life. If you want to affect real change, affect it this way. I'm off my soapbox.
Okay, so I'll make my comment kind of fairly short. So I'll do it in reverse. Ridge Holland first. It's not good that he's gone. I think he'll do quite. I think he'll do quite well here in the UK. I think he'll go back to the UK, probably go back to the UK, and he's to do fairly well. Yeah, he's not good that released him 9 days early. And they're $1 billion company. Despite being $4 billion in debt, they are still $1 billion company, and they can't afford to pay Ridge Holland $60,000. Okay. And yeah, you're completely right. As long as WWE are still, getting these $1 billion contracts, ESPN, Peacock, the Saudis, that's from a money point of view. That's all they care about. The attendance is low, the ratings are low, so we've just got paid $100 million off the Saudis. And then from a fan point of view, yeah, I see it all the time. I've got watch a lot of YouTube channels. SmackDown, Raw, awful. Don't watch them. Don't any YouTuber out there, don't sit there. This is awful. This is boring, and then continue to watch.
Right.
Either live with the fact in 2025, Raw. And I will agree. I can't even remember what happened on SmackDown last week. It was that bad. Can I remember what happened on Raw? No. Throughout 2025, 4 Raws have been worth watching. The rest have been just next, skip. But I will continue to watch. I hope it gets better. But I'm not sitting at awful, crap, boring. It is, but it is boring. It is crap. But I don't completely bury it and continue to watch. Other channels out there do. They say, boring, crap, this is the worst. Don't watch then. Just simply don't watch.
The numbers are drastically lower on SmackDown right now. I see that. I really only watch WWE Vault now, which is good because it brings you back to when the situations of life were simple. But at the same time, here's the issue with this. There are so many things that they can do at this point. They have to appeal to the sponsors. They have to appeal to the boards. And the last person you have to appeal to is the general public.
I think it's too many masters. You've got ESPN, the Saudis, Peacock, YouTube, all these to please, all of them. And that's why it's just next pay-per-view after pay-per-view, show after show after show. It's just, there's nothing building. And you mentioned Survivor Series. What's the alternative to War Games? I don't know. I don't want to find out.
I'm going to give you the alternative. So, I first off, I'm a huge fan of War Games, right? So I still want War Games in there. But I'm going to give you the alternative because you're going to like this. You ready? Before War Games happened, you had SmackDown versus Raw versus NXT. Now, hold on.
That was good. Yes.
Hold on.
But when it was Raw versus SmackDown,
I'm gonna give you. You ready? I'm gonna give you the matches. Now keep in mind, I still also want 2 War Games matches, okay? Because there's enough talent. Okay, so we put 2 War Games matches in there. You ready for this? Here we go. Cody Rhodes versus CM Punk versus Ricky Starks. Sorry, Ricky Saints. Okay, ready? Okay, here we go. Jade Cargill versus who's the women's champion? Tatum Paxley versus who's the women's champion?
The fact that we can't remember the women's champion like that just shows you everything, how bad Raw's gone. But yeah, Stephanie, yeah.
Stephanie, right? So you have that match, right? Ethan Page versus Ilya Dragunov versus Dominic Mysterio. Blake Monroe versus Becky Lynch versus whoever the U.S. champion is.
Julia. Yeah, no one else remembers either. So,
Autistic Wrestling. See, now I want you, right? We have those matches. Now we're not even talking about tag matches, right? Forget about that. What I'm saying, you have 4 matches right there, right? You add 2 more matches. This is what you do. You add 2 more matches for War Games, and you add, which I don't know if they're doing this, you add the Cena final.
That's Saturday night's main event, the rumored match for
No. The Cena final, as in the 2 people that have went through the tournament.
Yeah.
And then you get a stare down because you have Cena there, right?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And you build that.
I think they're going to do the 2 War Games matches. Obviously, Cena versus Dominic, rumored. I would imagine a rematch, Jade versus Tiffany, and
what I'm interested to see is how they get to Cena and Dominic, because I think Cena should wrestle 4 times. He's probably not going to, but I think he should wrestle 4 times. This is how I would do this, and I don't know again how you get the Dominic. I have an idea, but I'm not really too sure. You have Cena versus Carmelo Hayes on Monday. It's in Boston.
You could, but Carmelo's face now, so would that work?
Doesn't matter. So is Sami Zayn when Sami Zayn wrestled John Cena. So
okay.
Forget about that nonsense, right? You had say AJ Styles and Cena. We're saying, right? Like, come on. So that doesn't rules don't apply. You have John Cena versus Carmelo Hayes. You have The Miz cost Carmelo the match, which leads to The Miz at that time period getting AA'd by Cena, which sets up the following Monday of Miz versus John Cena at the Garden. And then something happens in that match, which I'm not too sure. It's probably a clean finish, but I don't know how Dom works his way into this situation. But that would be a situation where Dom works his way into the situation, and then you have Cena versus Dom at Survivor Series for the Intercontinental title. Cena wins the title. Gunther wins the tournament. Gunther, Cena, Saturday night's main event. We're done.
Or Cena, you could do Gunther winning back the title, or Cena just vacates it, just says, I've won it, that's it.
Cena's not beating Gunther.
He vacates the title, and then, I don't know, do you give the title? A lot of history there. Yeah.
Give it to Gunther, let him elevate it again.
But Autistic Wrestling, you brought up history, which brings us right into very quickly. I'll have to speed through this because I want to speed through this and then Wrestling Roundup, and obviously quickly promote at the end. But yes, Wrestling Round, Autistic Wrestling, not Wrestling Roundup, Autistic Wrestling brought up wrestling history, which brings me to when wrestling actually was good with this. So yes, this week in wrestling history. So we'll go back all the way back to 1997, November 9th, a very, very famous moment in time, which was, of course, the Montreal screw job. So I could very quickly give my thoughts on this. It was meant to be a work. No work. It was a work. It wasn't a work. But depending on who you ask, it was a work. I don't think it was. I think legitimately Bret Hart did get screwed, and yeah, that's my thoughts on that. What are your memories and quick thoughts on the Montreal screw job?
I think it's been pretty well documented, right? I think it's been pretty well documented that exactly ring the bell. I think it's been very, very, very well documented that that this was a situation where Brett didn't know, and you could tell that situation, and we know this because it was never a work, because when he sits there and goes like this.
Yeah, why would you show that it's a work? You would know
why
that.
Would you show the WCW when you know Vince McMahon as well as everybody knew and knows him? We would never acknowledge another company. There's like no other wrestling company ever existed to Vince McMahon, right? Like it was like, you know what I mean? So like, come on, it was a shoot. It wasn't a work. And it was what it was. You have. Do I think Sean knew? Of course Sean knew. Of course Sean knew. I've been in the back. Everybody knows, except in a situation by which the fact that like it was a screw job, I could see how Brett wouldn't know, but Sean knew.
Yeah, I think they all knew. Triple H, DX,
everybody else knew.
Yeah, still to this day says, "Oh no, we didn't know." I think they all knew. But let's go to the next date, which was 2017. I was there live, November 7th. AJ Styles wins the WWE Championship, defeating Jinder Mahal on the overseas SmackDown. Of course, before this, the only title to change hands was the tag team titles. I think it was the Colons. I do not quote me on that, but I think it was the Colons who won the titles. And some Raw or Smack, or how might be a house show actually. I can't, whatever it was. I'm rambling. But yes, I was there live. Massive moments. The WB title changing your hands on a overseas.
Yeah. That's really cool. Really cool.
So yeah, I was there live. Yeah, great moments. Yeah. But let's move into today's wrestling. Something like NXT is good, but Raw is boring.
Well, I don't think we have to discuss it too much.
What?
I don't think we have to discuss it too much. I think that we're in agreement. There's some feedback on your side. I think that no, you've got back there. A lot of echoing.
I'll backing me 1 second to do that again.
Yeah, guys. So look, is there really a reason to talk about what's going on this week in wrestling? I mean, look, we're gonna find out on Friday tonight who the next probably 2 matches are for the Cena tournament, right? I wasn't really that impressed by the Raw announcement of the 2 matches. Those 4 people are not going to be the people that are going to be in the final. And so we're going to find out probably another 2 matches tonight as well. I find it really interesting that if the tournament starts next week, why did we, if we're getting, we were getting 16 wrestlers while we only had 4 announced on Monday. We should have had 8 announced on Monday, 8 announced this week on Friday tonight. And then you would have your tournament, and then you can be able to see. This is the thing, you want to capture people in, right? You put those things and you look at the matches and go, okay, this is the match I want to see, whatever that is, and then you bookmark that for whether it's Boston, New York, whatever the case may be. That's how also you increase ticket sales, right? You increase ticket sales in the Boston and New York tri-state area by sitting here saying you're going to get Joe Hendry, which has not been announced. So, but I'm just giving you this example: Joe Hendry versus blah blah blah, or Gunther versus blah blah blah, and you're going to get it in in MSG. You're going to get it in Boston. You're going to get it whatever, and that increases ticket sales because you want to be there to see it. In realities of things, there hasn't really been that much to talk about at all this week in wrestling. You could sit here and say NXT, okay, great, whatever. Raw, great. Punk has a cool sweater. It says Punk on it, right? That's all wonderful. I did like the whole Logan Paul joining the Vision thing, which only goes to show you and tell you one thing. Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed cannot carry the group. Right? If you need someone else, they're not going to carry the group. But Logan Paul's not always going to be there every week. I want him to be, but he's not going to be.
Okay, but I will give my thoughts on very quickly then. We'll speed through everything. Give my thoughts on this week's wrestling very quickly. Then we'll do it in the whole lot in 2 minutes or so. With this. That is right. So wrestling roundup, of course, it, as always, starts with AEW. So we'll make this fast. So Claudio defeated somebody. Oh yeah, Orange Cassidy. He's now in not War Games, Blood and Guts. Holly Cameron and Willie Nightingale went over Mercedes Moné. Mercedes lost a match. Wow. Went over Mercedes Moné and Athena. Great. Darby Allin knocks off Daniel Garcia. He's in War Games, not War Games, Blood and Guts. AEW's War Games. Megan Bayne and Marina Shirawaka. But no, Megan Bayne defeated Mina Shirawaka. Sorry about that.
By the way, it's Shirakawa.
Shirakawa, that's what I meant. And the Ops retained over somebody. I don't know who they retained over. I'm just reading it off Google. So, but for those new viewers, Autistic Wrestling, Nick commented before. If he's still here, I don't know. But my opinion of AEW is the same as every week. It's okay. I'll give it a dark match. Yeah. Let's move on to Raw. So yeah, CM Punk comes out. Logan Paul comes out. The Vision did okay. The Judgment Day women knocked off Nikki Bella and Stephanie Vaquera. Nikki Bella now, I've said it before, I'll say it again, now just feels like just another woman on the roster. There's nothing special about Nikki Bella anymore. Penta knocked off El Grande Americano. Dominic Mysterio promo. Cool to see Ray back. Becky Lynch promo. A lot of talking on this Raw. Kabuki Warriors defeats Lara Valkyria and Bayley. Okay. AJ Styles and Dragon Lee retain. And then CM Punk, Jey Uso taking on the Vision, ending in a double count out that the crowd booed. They didn't like that. And then it looks like going into War Games that Logan has joined the Vision. But very, very, very quickly, with War Games, what is the women? We are 3 weeks away, 2 weeks away. And the Women's War Games match is... So I've said it before, unless you've got a clear plan of what the woman... Either War Games match is, just don't have it. So I'll give it an opener. It was an okay Raw. SmackDown. NXT, Fatal Influence defeat the Culling and Lola Vice. I like Fatal Influence. I like JT Jane. I like you. The Kimberly looking strong without being champion. Kalani Jordan, heel turn. Good promo by Kalani Jordan. El Grande Americano over Josh Briggs. Yeah, Josh Briggs isn't really winning much now, but whatever. Zarya in the speed match speeds right through Ren Sinclair. Kalani Jordan knocks off Mariah May Steele. Javon Evans defeats Shaquan Sugars, and then in the ring, Ethan Page, Chelsea Green, and say his name, and he appears. Joe Henry and Thea Hale come on out. Yeah, a good. I enjoy NXT every week. I'll say also an opener, and very quickly Evolve. Jax Presley and Harley Riggins over Cappuccino Drip. Cool.
Wrong. Cappuccino Jones is his name.
But him and the Cartwheel.
Yeah, Jack Cartwheel, yeah.
They're called Cappuccino Drip, aren't they, as a tag team? Got another coming in here, I think, just as I quickly read out the Evolve results. Joe Henry, yes, don't say, yeah, he might appear. Yes. But yes, I like Jax Presley. I like Holly Wiggins. I think they're a decent tag team. PJ Vassar, from those who watch LFG, she knocked off Hayes Jameson. Brooks Jensen over Mike Cunningham. Who's that? I don't know. And Chantel Monroe. He's out of Cody Rhodes' school. I think they said that on commentary.
He's part of the Nightmare Factory, yes. And
Chantel Monroe went over Wendy Cho. I'm a fan of Evolve, and I'm going to say mid-card. I thought it was a good Evolve this week. So we've got one more segment to do, but we'll play this quick video first. And Artistic Wrestling, please continue to get your comments in. They're very much appreciated. But I will play this first. That is right. Like and subscribe, do all those cool things. As we go to the final segment, the final segment is all about promotion. My wrestling travels with. That is right. Wrestling Days out. So the next show I've got coming up will be Sunday, and that show is somewhere. Is this? So yeah, I've got that on Sunday. Very much looking forward to it. Takes me all day to get there and back, but yes, I will be there on Sunday. So yes, that's what I'm doing. But the man himself, Sean, has got quite a few shows coming up, and I don't know if these are in order on here, but
yeah. So let's talk about it. So I told people on a podcast last night. I also will be telling people on the part of the promo that Billy, the president and the CEO of Titan Championship Wrestling, and I are in lockstep, moving into Mount Olympus. I am everywhere, Nick. I am. Okay. And I specifically made it a point to say that he and I are going to pop up on Friday in Ridgefield Park. And I promise you, we will be there, and we will make sure that we let the champion of Respect Championship Wrestling, Mr. Gangone, know that we will be seeing him the next night. So if that means us saying hello on Friday, we will.
So very, very quickly, just to answer your question, Artistic Wrestling. I don't wrestle. I've always wanted to do and done a little bit of training, and just personally, it's not for me. Personally, I prefer it just to be a fan. But Sean Gold, his wrestling name. So yeah.
Yeah, if you want more information about me, again, you go to my Instagram, Mr. Sean G18.
There,
You can find out all that information there.
there it is. That's his Instagram. So Artistic Wrestling. If you want to know more, go to that. Also, go to
Let's talk about Saturday. Yeah, let's
Go-
talk about Saturday. Flip up that Saturday one.
So very quickly, go to that. Also, Artistic Wrestling, great page. Go and check it out. The Sandman was on a previous show, but yes, very quickly. Oh, yeah, I'm falling again here. Just as we're finishing up, so very quickly, that again. That's next
Friday.
Friday. So check that out, and next Saturday. You sent me 2 pictures here, so
Nope. Flip the next one. Flip the next one. Flip the next one. Flip the next one. We'll go back to
that one.
There it is. Let's talk about it again. The conclusion. Yeah, man, maybe. Yeah, I'm in. I tell you what, you get me on that on the happy hour. We can do the pre-show. That's fine. I'll be there super early. As I always am, right? Because I don't just do stuff. I'll set up the ring crew as well, right? I'll set up that ring. But the conclusion of that storyline ends next Saturday. It ends. Good or bad, it ends. I'm tired of playing around with these little children of the devout, of not seeing the vision of the future. They think that they're the vision of the future. Well, if Gangon wins next Saturday, the future's over. There is no future. 100%. Okay?
Ricky, let's connect. We should partner together. Can't even read that. Jesus.
That's because you can't read.
No, I can read. It's so small. I have to get. What's my socials? It was running across the screen, but it should be running across the screen. It's in the description. But if you add me on Facebook,
Nick, he'll connect with you offline.
And I'd say, if you want to add me on Facebook, Ricky J. Pate on Facebook. It's me. Dressed like a complete mark, but dressed like Roman Reigns, so quite easy picture to find.
Let's go to Sunday.
And yes, I'm finding it. So very quickly for those who want to go, that's
Saturday.
And then on Sunday, look at
Let's
this.
talk about Sunday, right? Here's the deal with Sunday. I'm just in the back, man. Right? I'm helping run the show, right? Just like I did last time with PWJ. Well, Gil is putting out banger after banger after banger, right? And this is going to be no different, okay? This show is going to be no different. It takes place at the same place that Friday night show is. It's at the Mecca in Ridgefield Park, and it's going to be a banger, right? It's going to be absolute and utter chaos. I will tell you, main event Wrestling the Righteous. I've seen main event. They were the ones that wrestled Zilla Fatu and BG Wayne at Gremlin House. They're absolutely insane people, right? So they're insane. It's going to be banger. If anybody's ever been at the Mecca, it's a rather small venue, and crowd participation does happen.
And you've got stacked card. Jackson Drake from WWE, Top Flight from personal thoughts aside of AEW, Top Flight from AEW, Righteous at work.
Eddie Kingston and Ortiz together in a three-way tag match. My friend Emily J, the PWJ Women's Champion, wrestling Billy Starks and Brittany Brooks. Obviously, the heavyweight champion of PWJ, Charles Manson, that psychopath. He's up. I'm telling you, if you don't know who Charlie Mason is, you got to check him out. Right, real solid wrestler.
I've heard of the name, but
real solid. And go back up to that card real quick. Really quickly.
Press
you have people like, oh God, look, think about this match for a second, guys. All right, Top Flight. Eddie Kingston and Ortiz, and dude, Jordan Oliver and Alec Price. If you've never seen Jordan Oliver and Alec Price before, if you've never seen them, first off, you must be under a rock. But if you've never seen them wrestle, okay, they, to me, were part of the best the best match of SummerSlam weekend on the WWE ID show. It was a 6-man with them and Marcus Mathers. I think it was unbelievable. Okay, so watch them. At the same time, what's not up there is I want to make an announcement on this really quickly. January 10th, January 10th, Gloucester City, New Jersey, Gremlin House Wrestling presents New Jack Slam Extra Jacked. And just because we can't get away with just doing a Saturday, fuck it, let's do a Sunday too, because on January 11th, the next day, Gremlin House Wrestling presents 111 up back at the Mecca in Ridgefield Park. And these venues are not the school, right? So they're going to get a little bit more violent.
So yes, guys, check out all those shows next week. Like I said, very quickly, you've got WWE's Jackson Drake, AEW's Top Flight, Billy Starkz and Eddie Kingston, and the Righteous at Ring of Honor. I think they're now just doing indies with Karrion Kross, Killer Kross. So yeah, it looks like an absolutely stacked card, an absolutely stacked show. So yeah, you guys go and check all those out if you're in the area. And yeah, so go and check all those out, and we'll see you guys next week. But let me find the outro. But always remember, as you like, subscribe, get this shared everywhere, and thank you for the comments, Nick, Artistic Wrestling, greatly appreciated. Like, subscribe, share, all of that, and always remember that it's Ricky J bringing the British bite to the fight.